Hello again. Welcome back to part 2 of my talk about my painting here. My name is Robert Pygott. I'm a painter and we're going to talk about the picture more in depth this time. Previously we sort of had a description of it more superficially, but let's talk a little bit more. I should point out first that it's my belief that, and the view of many scientists actually, that mathematics underpins the structure of the universe, and it's the application of this number which kind of drives nature. In fact, I think of this idea as the will of number. It's as though this will has a kind of hidden power, an abstract power, the power which maintains existence and actually brings life to the planet, to the world, I suppose. Some might consider this will of number as equivalent to the will of God, but that's a big discussion and we haven't time for that now. So this painting is all about that willpower, and this dodecahedron is symbolic of that power because it's loaded with the symmetry and geometry contained within it. I mean, even in daylight it kind of glows, although it's best viewed in a darkened room with candlelight or a dim spotlight and so on. But it does radiate a kind of a tranquility and an aura of calm, I suppose, because that's what it is. It's part of the geometry. And therefore, in a way, it's part of nature itself. It represents the will I was talking about. It's loaded with that will. So part of its attraction is the 12 pentagons. You can only see 6 here. And within the pentagon is a pentagram. I'll show you with this little demonstration that you can see it fits like this. So it's got a 5-pointed star within it, and that's the pentagram. And the pentagram also defines phi 1.618 in the way it's constructed. So it means that although it's not in the picture, the dodecahedron contains this sort of magical pentagram which in many societies is revered really as having the property of magic. And we should imagine that the pentagram has this kind of ingredient in it that is within the dodecahedron. Of course, this mystery sits within the dodecahedron, but actually it's the box that contains the numbers. And the only way to open the box and release the numbers and light the lantern is by these sets of numbers here. So I'm not sure if you can see it. There's 355 over 113 here, and 377 over 233 here. Now they represent the approximations of two numbers, pi 3.14 and phi again 1.618. It's a simple calculation to reach that approximation. Now when the box is open, the lantern of the dodecahedron is illuminated, and this is a sort of a let there be light kind of moment, in the sense of the beginning of the world, if you like. It represents the start of the distribution of number throughout the universe and enabled the physical world to come into being. Now, if we follow this will of number, we're able to improve our own well-being and mental health, I suppose. Basically, if nature follows these numbers, then we as part of nature really should follow them as well, so that our mind and the physical body are synchronized. And it's this synchronization that establishes good health, good mental health, and our well-being, I suppose. It's obvious if we don't follow nature's numbers, things can go wrong, and I mean this is happening now with the climate change that's going on, and many of the other things. So if our civilization, as it were, moves out of sync, moves out of synchronization with nature's numbers, then things go wrong, and that appears to be what's happening. But it's not only the earth that suffers. If we don't follow it, our own mental well-being can be not damaged, but the poorer for it. So that brings me back to these bars on either side of the picture. They represent an idea, and you may laugh, or you'd certainly be sceptical, that holding on to these bars allows the synchronization of yourself to be improved. It's as if you're connected to the geometry of the world by holding on to them, because the geometry is loaded into the picture, and by holding it, some of it flows into your own mind and helps the mind and body synchronize together. I mean, you see this and we've all perhaps experienced this in lockdown as you walk along the beach or walk in the wood. The geometry around you in those locations helps. It helps your well-being. You feel better. And the same thing happens if you hold on to these bars, because the painting is loaded with the same geometry that you experience in the wood or by the sea. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Maybe one day this idea, I mean it's a crude idea of a synchronization bar, I agree, but perhaps in the not too distant future there will be an app on our phones or our watch that will enable synchronization to happen more easily. I'll leave you with that, and thank you for watching. We'll have another session another time. Thank you.